Alright, so it's December 22nd, 2018, around 10:30 maybe p.m. So wait. No. It's 21st. I just got my comic book sent from the printer, and they said 22nd, but I think it's Eastern in Florida. It's already the 22nd, but in California, it's the 21st still. So I'm going to continue reading this book. It's not quite halfway, but let's see. So I'm going to read chapter 2. Shouldn't be that long. And it's called The First Agreement. Be impeccable with your word. The first agreement is the most important one. It's also a difficult one to honor. The most difficult one to honor. It is so important that with just this first agreement, you will be able to transcend to the level of existence I call heaven on earth. The first agreement is to be impeccable with your word. It sounds very simple, but it is very, very powerful. With your word, why your word? Your word is the power that you have to create. Your word is a gift that comes directly from God. The Gospel of John in the Bible speaks of the creation of the universe, says, "In the beginning was the Word, and the Word was with God, and the Word is God." Through the Word, you express your creative power. It is through the Word that you manifest everything. Regardless of what language you speak, your intent manifests through the Word. What you dream, what you feel, and what you really are will all be manifested through the Word. The Word is not just a sound or a written symbol. The Word is a force. It is the power you have to express and communicate, to think, and thereby to create the events in your life. You can speak. What other animal on the planet can speak? The Word is the most powerful tool you have as a human. It is the tool of magic. But like a sword with two edges, your word can create the most beautiful dream, or your word can destroy everything around you. One edge is the misuse of the word, which creates a living hell. The other edge is the impeccability of the word, which will only create beauty, love, and heaven on earth. Depending upon how it is used, the word can set you free, or it can enslave you even more than you know. All the magic you possess is based on your word. Okay, so this is good. I've been working on my music stuff and art stuff for a long time, but today I was doing some music stuff. I'm printing up some CD stuff, and watching some TV here and there. So I hear the news. I'm always receiving. I'm receiving a lot of input, information, people talking to me, media, social media, and I'm also, through my life, I've been putting out a lot of art and words and everything. So it's kind of, sometimes, you're overwhelmed, but what he's saying is, when he talks about the word and your words, the power that he's talking about is everywhere we go. Everything you hear, everything that you speak is affecting you, and you are affecting the world. Think about, like, if you're having a good day, and then someone yells at you, right? This is something that I've been dealing with my loved ones and strangers, and every day, like every day, Like I'm put in a situation where I have to deal with people feeling that they can get words, getting their using their words in a negative way towards me. So I have to deal with how to, if I want to put my words out, or if I want to um, hold my tongue and either let it pass through me, or let karma deal with it, or throw it right back by getting into the argument. Um, and that's the interesting thing with it is, you know, every day you have to deal with it, and how you. And when I make my music, it's beautiful. Most of it, like some of my stuff was angry when I was younger, but a lot of my songs mostly were love songs, and even if they were sad or what, it was still coming from a place of love. And um, but it's so weird when the world tries to pull you the other way, and it's like almost on purpose, and it's just really weird. So uh, when it talks about God stuff, uh, that's the bottom line, underlying issue with the whole, with our whole existence. So um, even if I'm living in this world and I'm dealing with it, and I'm being a human, uh, understanding and sharing this information with you is important to me. And when he says about the word and the sword, it's a double-edged sword. And it is straight from the Bible. That is straight biblical. And before I even read this, or a long time ago when I read the Bible, when I was a kid, it talked about the word. Let there be light. Um, how God created it with sound, and that goes into vibration. That goes into um, energy. If you don't know, sound is a form of energy, different wavelengths, electricity, matter. Everything is made out of the same stuff. It's just how much frequency, vibration there is to it that creates the form. But it's all energy. We're energy. Everything's made out of energy. So the word that we use when we have the power of word is also vibration, but it's actually energy that we're putting out. So when you yell at somebody or you say something kind, you're giving energy out, like scientifically, not physical, not some fairy tale world, but real world. And so when you use your word um, to talk about yourself or to talk about your existence, what you want in the world or what you want to give to the world, you're calling out, you're creating it. When you use your word, you're creating it. So it's very powerful, like you say. So anyway, uh, depending on how it is used, the word can set you free or it can slave you even more than you know. All the magic you possess is based on your word. Your word is pure magic, and misuse of your word is black magic. So again, I think when he uses the word magic, it's this idea of the power, like science. Everything that before we realized it was science, like how to create fire, we called it magic. But I think he uses this because we're in a place, and I don't believe the people that really know stuff consider it fake, because um, that's because it's the way the universe is created, matter, and our lives. They've been experimenting with it and stuff for a long time, and even before that, um, it was used. So there's things that with the word. I mean, think about singing. Think about all this stuff. Anyway, The word is so powerful that one word can change a life or destroy the lives of millions of people. Some years ago, one man in Germany, by the use of the word, manipulated a whole country of the most intelligent people. He led them into a world war with just the power of his word. He convinced others to communicate the most atrocious acts of violence. He activated people's fear with the word, and like a big explosion, there was killing and war all around the world. All over the world, humans destroyed other humans because they were afraid of each other. Hitler's word, based on fear-generated beliefs and agreements, will be remembered for centuries. He wasn't the only one. I gotta say, I don't know the whole history of it. I know just they say whoever's the victor in the battle gets to tell the story, or is a hero or whatever. Anyway, so we always use Hitler, and I do too, and the Nazis as a example of how bad civilization can get with with the idea of hate. But he was one in a bunch of people, not just the Germans and the Nazis, but there was throughout history. There's been many people that almost all war like cultures and war people that are uh, people that use force and differences and hate to take what they want from others. So it's not just Hitler. The human mind is like a fertile ground where seeds are continually being planted. The seeds are opinions, ideas, and concepts. You plant a seed, a thought, and it grows. The word is like a seed, and the human mind is so fertile. The only problem is that too often it is fertile for the seeds of fear. Every human mind is fertile, but only for those kinds of seeds it is prepared for. What is important is to see what kind of seeds our mind is fertile for, and to prepare it to receive the seeds of love. So that's another parable. The bird or the seeds that the parable sowed, the sower of the seeds. The parable of the sower of the seeds. When Christ came and he talked about the word of God as a seed and different grounds that it either took or didn't take, and like the world uh, sometimes will destroy it. Sometimes your heart is too hard, so you won't the seed, the word of God won't be able to live in there, even get inside your heart. Some the ground will go in, or the seeds will go in, but it's too shallow to partake or to grow, and the sun will hit him and they'll die. And then some of them, the birds will come and eat them, and sometimes the thorns will grow around it, and that's where the world will come and take out the word of God before it gets to become something inside us. And sometimes the ground is good, where you're ready for God and you unharden your heart, and you're able to grow the love of God. And it's not easy, man. Like this world is tough. It does make us tough. And so yeah, take the example of Hitler. He sent out all those seeds of fear, and they grew very strong and beautifully achieved massive destruction. Seeing the awesome power of the word, we must understand what power comes out of our mouths. One fear or doubt planted in our mind can create an endless drama of events. Ooh, that's speaking to me. One word is like a spell, and humans use the word like black magicians. Dude, I gotta say, man, I've been drowning in these things. Like, people be saying so many different things to me, and it's got me all wound up. So, anyway, thoughtlessly putting spells on each other. And this is why I haven't lashed out on people um, as much as I have. I just got a friend, old friend that I don't know, he got offended by the blogs that I've been making, and the drama blogs, which, rightfully so. People can get offended. I'm not happy. I wasn't happy about it, so it's not that I didn't expect people to get mad, but after you get stomped a few times in life, like, you gotta punch back. So, I mean, everybody had it. This is not a drama blog, but this is what's really happening in my life, and this is why this book has been very meaningful to me when I read it. And all these, I've been learning so much, um, spiritually and emotionally and psychologically and all this stuff, and I haven't lashed out on people, um, but I have been getting kicked, and the way I've been getting kicked, as I've been trying to understand it, like, I realize that people have been using this black magic on others and using other people to, do their dirty work or whatever. So, but I don't want to lash out on everybody, on the wrong people. But trust me, I've felt like I've wanted to every day. So, um, it's a weird world, man. It's a very interesting place to live, especially in, every generation feels that their time is different, is the most crazy time, and but we are definitely in one, and I feel like I'm in the middle of a lot of stuff, and I don't know what it. Can't quite explain it, but that's why I'm making these blogs, to get there and, keep going. So yeah, so the black magic that people use, people are always pointing fingers and saying who's evil and who's bad and who does this and who does that, and that's what the world we're in, where they just check you out. I'm beautifully human. That's all I gotta say, and I don't even care. Like, I'm not gonna not be human. So, like, but when everybody's pointing fingers, just look at the person that's pointing the finger. Start looking at them and see how clean their life is, and you'll see, like, the people that want to speak badly on other people, they got the most to hide, and they're the most devious. So it's like the first one to call fire is the one that you might want to check his pockets and stuff, because no, I mean, it's weird. Like I said, black magic. You gotta, not just fists. We're not in the days. Fist is not the most powerful thing that humans have. Our word is, and again, it is double-edged sword. So for those that use it negatively on other people, will receive it as well. So I'm not quick. I'm not trying to run to the battle, but but we'll see. Every human is a magician, and we can either put a spell on someone with our word, or we can release someone from a spell. Yeah, see how good this is? We cast spells all the time with our opinions. An example, I see a friend and give him an opinion that just popped into my mind. I say, I see I see that kind of color in your face in people who are going to get cancer. If he listens to the word, and if he agrees, he will have cancer in less than 1 year. That is the power of the word. Oh my God. Are you not hearing me? Like, this is some. I'm glad I'm reading this again, because it's a battle out there. And during our domestication, our parents and siblings gave their opinions about us without even thinking. We believed these opinions, and we lived in fear over these opinions, like not being good at swimming or sports or writing. Someone gives an opinion and says, "Look, this girl is ugly." This girl listens, believes she is ugly, and grows up with the idea that she is ugly, it doesn't matter how beautiful she is, as long as has the agreement, she will believe that she is ugly. That is the spell she is under. And oh my God, like I've seen it so many, so many times, where someone will just say something and it's not true, and people will live their life believing it. Like, you're dumb, you can't do this, and they will. Their family member, somebody always has to come from someone you love or someone you respect or something, and they live their life like that, until someone breaks the spell for them or something. I don't know. So by hooking our attention, the word can enter our mind and change a whole belief for better or for worse. Another example, you may believe you are stupid, and you may have believed this for as long as you can remember. This agreement can be tricky, causing you to do a lot of things just to ensure that you are stupid. You may do something and think to yourself, I wish I were smart, but I must be stupid or I wouldn't have done that. The mind goes in hundreds of different directions that we could spend days getting hooked by just that one belief in our own stupidity. I can't tell you how many times friends of mine and through my life have tried to downplay my abilities in that, I was always good in school and I was always like smart and my teachers liked me. But I had some friends that were always like, oh, you can't, you're always late, or you just say negative things here and there, like, oh yeah, he's always under um, underrated or whatever. And it was weird. Only in college did I like really take it upon myself to achieve the most I can, and and I did. And when I did, everyone was very. Um, all the people that I knew before that were didn't believe it. They didn't. They weren't part of my life really. None of them. None of my family. Um, some of my family, like my brother was, and his family, but and my dad. Well, my immediate family, but like a lot of like they were there, but they weren't there. They weren't there with me. So they'd see me after school or here and there, and they'd be happy and proud of me. But a lot of my old friends and stuff, they just none of them understood like what I was really having to get done and how much I had to to do the work, and how how much I loved it, how much of a challenge it was, because everybody was doing their own life, and I was learning a lot of book smart stuff, and really going for it, and being one of the best students in the classroom, every class that I ever had, not just the art classes, but the other classes, and it really gave me a boost to realize like, your fate is in your own hands, and all the negative things that people were saying in high school and before that, teachers, getting kicked out of school, having to go to continuation school, all the measurements that were traps that were like trying to make somebody believe that they were less, um, didn't stop me, and I broke free of them. And the poverty one has been the toughest one for as of lately, but I even broke some of those after high school, or after college, and that's been an ongoing battle. But in reality, I uh, keep breaking these spells that other people put on you. You know what I mean? It's so good, so important, and but people keep persisting, and that's what's really weird. Is like, and it's sad because you can see it in their own eyes. Their limitations that they put on, that somebody else put on them, or life had put on them, or something, and they keep thinking like, and I wish I could save them all, like, as they see me walk through it, everybody's astounded, but they don't realize like you can walk through it because you have to fight. You know what I mean? When somebody plays some stupid music for you, and you have to play some music for them or yourself, really. Like if you want to save them, you can help them, but in reality, like some people think that they have to be a winner. They have to. There has to be a lot of losers. The more losers they they can be. They feel they can get better, but that's not the truth. The truth is that they themselves should better themselves. That's the only way to get better, is to actually better yourself. No amount of money or anything else is gonna get you to the place you of uh, self improvement or self greatness. You know, like self esteem, all that stuff. Like you see it in people's eyes. You know, and sometimes the world is tough, man. It's been tough on me. I haven't gave up, but you know, I hope. I'm not trying to go alone to greatness, but I'm going there without if nobody wants to go or not. So anyway, um, then one day someone hooks your attention and using the word lets you know that you are not stupid. You believe what the person says and makes a new agreement and make a new agreement. As a result, you no longer feel or act stupid. A whole spell is broken just by the power of the word. Conversely, if you believe you are stupid and someone hooks your attention and says, yes, you are really the most stupid person I have ever met, the agreement will be reinforced and become even stronger. This is just to say, be conscious of what you say to yourself every day and reprogram your mind if you have to. Try to say all good things to yourself in your mind. I could do it, you know. Even if you have a bad day, just say it to yourself like, oh, I can make it, I can do it, I can do it. I'm going to do it, I'm doing it. Whatever, you know, I'm gonna make that money. I'm gonna get that house. I'm gonna get that car, and just go for it. And you know, action speaks louder than words, but you have to have the word first, and to yourself and to others. You know what I mean? Like it'll help in the end. Now let us see what the word impeccability means. Impeccability means without sin. Impeccable comes from the Latin peccatus, which means sin. The M in impeccable means without. So impeccable means without sin. Religions talk about sin and sinners, but let's understand what it really means to sin. A sin is anything that you do which goes against yourself. Everything you feel or believe or say that goes against yourself is a sin. You go against yourself when you judge or blame yourself for anything. Being without sin is exactly the opposite. When you are impeccable, you take responsibility for your actions, but you do not judge or blame yourself. From this, so you understand what's really going on. You know what I mean? Like you're hungry, you gotta eat, but don't blame yourself. Like figure it out. From this point of view, the whole concept of sin changes from something moral or religious to something common sense. Sin begins with rejection of yourself. Self-rejection is the biggest sin that you commit. In religious terms, self-rejection is a mortal sin, which leads to death. Impeccability, on the other hand, leads to life. So the word sin in the Bible is different. He's not talking about the sin that they're talking about in the Bible. He's talking about the idea that we have of the word sin and how he's using it in the word impeccability to be perfect. You know what I mean? Without sin. But just like heaven and hell, you know what I mean? Like that's a religious thing, but what does those two terms really mean? You know? And so the reason that I think that is important is if you lay around in self-hate and judgment, you're gonna lose every time. There's no winning, and God can't even help you. God tells you to help yourself. He does. He really does. Like you got to do it. You know what I mean? It's choice, freedom of choice. God can help you, but He's not. you have to wake up. And this has, the guy afraid of the lion at the door. There's a lion at the door. And, death. You're waiting. Someone's going to get you. But that's poverty comes to the person that lays around in the bed and turns over and over instead of waking up and getting stuff done. And that's God's not saying He's going to give you money. Money's going to come out of the sky, and if you're a good person, no, He's saying wake up, be like the ant, go to work, go do stuff, get stuff done, and you won't be poor. You won't be wanting. You're going to be prosperous. But if you don't, then that's your own fault. So sin, it goes. There's a lot of different terms for it, but if you realize, like I was just reading some Facebook stuff, and man, there's a lot of haters on Facebook. No matter where you go, there's always somebody saying something stupid, negative. I read comments a lot, and it's just like, oh my god, like, and I don't know if these people, I don't never see them in real life. Like, people do 180s, all kinds in real life. If anybody wants to say something, they hold their tongue real quick. If you just look at them in a funny way, they won't say nothing. But on the internet, they got lots to say. They say some stuff that's like, wow, dude, this person, who is this person? So good and bad. Sometimes good, sometimes like, wow, dude, like, I can't believe there's people like this out there. Like, pretty much like that person should get slapped just for being so disrespectful to somebody else. Anyway, so impeccability. Okay, let's keep going. Being impeccable with your word is not using the word against yourself. And this is Bible stuff too, because the Bible does say that. Like, don't say this. I forget how it says it now, but it does. It pretty much says it just like that. Don't use the word against yourself. If I see you in the street and I call you stupid, it appears that I'm using the word against you. But really, I'm using my word against myself, because you're going to hate me for this, and your hating me is not good for me. See, this is what I'm trying not to do, because I have went out into the world and said stuff against the government and against the poverty and racism, and I'm trying to learn how to really go into life without throwing rocks everywhere. So I'm sorry for everybody. I understand where you're coming from. I'm trying my best, just like you are. Anyway, but really, I'm using the word against myself, because you're going to hate me for this, and your hating me is not good for me. A kind word turns away wrath. I think that was the word. Therefore, if I get angry with my word and send all that emotional poison to you, I'm using the word against myself. And this is the thing, if you agree, he goes into it, but if you agree to somebody saying something negative to you, then they throw that poison into you and you get the poison. But if you don't agree with them and you're like, and you don't let it affect you, and you're just like, whatever, and you have to, I don't know how, but just let it just go on by and control yourself and go to another level. That word that they used against you is going to go right back to them. And so, and it's not that you want them to be hurt, but it's just that they haven't learned, you know what I mean? Like, if somebody's all mad and you're not around for them to be mad and hear about it, what's really happening? They're just all mad, and if it's not your fault, everybody could be mad, but they're not going to help themselves by being mad. Same thing with you. Okay. If I love myself, I will express that love in my interactions with you. But then I am being impeccable with the word. Okay, hold on. If I love myself, I will express that love in my interactions with you. And then I am being impeccable with the word. Because that action will produce a like reaction. If I love you, then you will love me. If I insult you, you will insult me. This is true, man. If you say something nice to somebody, they'll be like, oh, but they'll be like, oh, they'll think about it next time. Like if you remember somebody's name and they just feel good about it, like, oh, the person remembered me. I haven't been great about all this stuff, but it's true. If I have gratitude for you, and you have gratitude for me. If I'm selfish with you, you will be selfish with me. If I use a word to put a spell on you, you are going to put a spell on me. I've been in this fight for a long time, man, and I wasn't even trying to fight with these people, but I'm trying not to like let this keep continuing because it's ridiculous. But but other people are doing it around me, and it just keeps going and going and going. But I can't stop it because I didn't. I don't know. It's the world, The world is doing this stuff, and I partook in some things here and there. Like I said, my own karma. But people. I think I'm getting brownie points just to tolerate some of these negative people. So when I do achieve greatness, like that's really why is because I wasn't trying to throw stones, and if hopefully God willing, I'll be able to keep my power and my strength with me and really help out people. That's really the key. It's not just for your own success, it's to help out. But yeah, spells. Stop putting spells on me, and I'm trying to stop not put spells on you too. And I'm talking about words, not crazy spells. Being impeccable with your word is the correct use of your energy. It means to use your energy in the direction of truth and love for yourself. If you make an agreement with yourself to be impeccable with your word, just with that intention, the truth will manifest through you and clean all the emotional poison that exists within you. Lordy, Lordy. But making this agreement is difficult because we have learned to do precisely the opposite. We have learned to lie as a habit of our communication with others and more importantly with ourselves. We are not impeccable with the word. The power of the word is completely misused in hell. We use the word to curse, to blame, to find guilt, to destroy. Of course, we also use it in the right way, but not too often. Mostly we use the word. Think about it, like how many enemies have you made just through and how like think about all the negative things you say about your neighbor or your old friend or your job to your loved ones, and you're like, oh, I can't believe this happened, blah blah blah. And then think about why all your problems are there. Like like did some of those problems come from saying all the negative things, Anyway. Feels good saying it, but it doesn't help your life in the long run. Mostly we use the word to spread our personal poison, to express anger, jealousy, envy, and hate. The word is pure magic. Okay, so think about it like that friend that is like, oh, I can't believe that person got this, or oh, look at that, she thinks he's all that, or he thinks he's all that, or this and that, and then think of your thoughts about that friend or that whoever your family member, and be like, man, like how do you really view them, like so if they and then think about the person that actually speaks good about people every time you see them, no matter what, and then think the way you view that person, and then think about how you talk, you know. And I'm guilty just as like everyone else of same old stuff, but I'm trying to, the more if you realize it, then you can work on it. So, and if people wonder why I don't hang out with a lot of people, it's because it's precisely that. It's because I'm doing my kung fu and getting my energy together. And people have a lot of things to say, and it is what it is, man. Let's keep going. The power of the word is completely misused in hell. Okay, to express anger, the word is pure magic. the most powerful gift we have as humans, and we use it against ourselves. We plan revenge. We create chaos with the word. We use the word to create hate between different races, different between different people, between families, between nations. We misuse the word so often, and this misuse is how we create and perpetuate the dream of hell. Misuse of the word is how we pull each other down and keep each other in a state of fear and doubt. Oh my God, this is like wow. Because the word is the magic that humans possess, and misuse of the word is black magic. We are using black magic all the time without knowing that our word is magic at all. Okay, hold on. Okay. There was a woman, for example, who was intelligent and had a very good heart. She had a daughter whom she adored and loved very much. One night she came home from a very bad day at work, tired, full of emotional tension, and with a terrible headache. She wanted peace and quiet, but her daughter was singing and jumping happily. The daughter was unaware of how her mother was feeling. She was in her own world, in her own dream. She felt so wonderful, and she was jumping and singing louder and louder, expressing her joy and her love. She was singing so loud that it made her mother's headache even worse. And at a certain moment, the mother lost control. Angrily, she looked at her beautiful little girl and said, "Shut up. You have an ugly voice. Can you just shut up?" Okay, so let me stop there because this was the most powerful part that I got in this book. Um, all of us as parents or even as humans have done this and do this and will do this stuff to our loved ones and people that around us, because we're human. We're not perfect. But if you're listening to me and as I read this book, you're gonna think about your own life, think about stuff that how, I can think about it when I had my son and I'd be like, hurry up, or oh, I can't believe you dropped that on the floor. It's right there, right there. Can you not see it? It's right there. And when I was doing it, I knew I was like, dang, I could be doing this better, but I was just frustrated and like trying to get somewhere or whatever. So always something to get done. But that's one of some of my biggest regrets. Like man, I wish I would have been more patient father figure and a human being to that other human being. So even if this mother didn't think that her daughter had a bad, ugly voice, it affects your kid. You know what I mean? And so yeah, I mean, powerful stuff, man. And I can think of a lot of people, or things that I've had to overcome when everyone was telling me you can't do it, you can't get it done. But for me, I was actually able to overcome a lot of these through self perseverance and through it, even if it affected me, like um, it. I used it for self improvement, like playing music or singing or whatever. Like I got to a place where I was able to do things that people were my loved one, my own friends, like saying you can't do it. Oh, you can't. And I got a lot of love for my friends and family too. So I'm not trying to throw them all under the bus, but there was some. It's just competition, and like if you're good looking and somebody wants to be like, oh, you got a big nose, or ooh, look at yours, oh, look at this and that, and it's like maybe it's out of kindness or love that they say these things, but they don't really realize that. And I don't. I do it too. I do it to my loved ones. Oh, make fun of them just for fun, but you know, it's true. You could hurt somebody's feelings. Sorry if I ever did that. Um, Okay, so the truth is the mother's tolerance for any noise was non-existent. It was not that the little girl's voice was ugly, but the daughter believed what her mother said, and in that moment she made an agreement with herself. After that, she no longer sang. It was just to make me cry, man. I'm almost crying right now. Because she believed her voice was ugly and would bother anyone who heard it. She became shy at school, and if she was asked to sing, she refused. Even speaking to others became difficult for her. Everything changed in the little girl because of this new agreement. She believed she must repress her emotions in order to be accepted and loved. Wherever we hear an opinion and believe it, we make an agreement, and it becomes part of our belief system. This little girl grew up, and even though she had a beautiful voice, she never sang again. She developed a whole complex from one spell. This spell was cast upon her by the one who loved her the most, her own mother. Her mother didn't notice what she did with her word. She didn't notice that she used black magic and put a spell on her daughter. She didn't know the power of her word, and therefore she isn't to blame. She did what her own mother, father, and others have done to her in many ways. They misused the word. Okay, I gotta stop again. This is life, man. Like, we're all going through it. This is something that we all have to deal with. And I know, I have some people that have been angry at me or whatever. I'm not quite sure. I haven't heard it like somebody speak to me personally, but I've gotten a lot of negative responses, and it's just like, man, we're bouncing off each other, and even I don't know if it's just me, but it's better to forgive than to like hold this hate, no matter what. Like, and it is true that we want to be respected and have, to be uh, not abused or not lied to and stuff like this. But we have to, yeah, that little girl, she should have sang, man. Like, keep singing, like even your own parents or whatever, there's continuing, even like in the government, where we're at right now in the world, um, we could hurt each other to gain stuff, try to get, if things get bad, like the Great Depression, and we start getting greedy with each other, it's gonna get worse. So I don't know, man. Like, anyway, how many times do we do this with our own children? We give them these types of opinions, and our children carry that black magic for years and years. People who love us do black magic on us, but they don't know what they do. That is why we must forgive them. They don't know what they do. And that's Bible stuff. Another example, you awake in the morning feeling very happy. You feel so wonderful. You stay 1 or 2 hours in front of the mirror making yourself beautiful. Well, one of your best friends says, what has happened to you? You look so ugly. Look at that dress you were wearing. You look ridiculous. That's it. That is enough to put you all the way down to hell. Maybe this girlfriend just told you this to hurt you, and she did. She gave you an opinion with all the power of her word behind it. If you accept the opinion, it becomes an agreement now. And you put all your power into that opinion becomes black magic. These types of spells are difficult to break. The only thing that can break a spell is to make a new agreement based on truth. The truth is the most important part of being impeccable with your word. On one side of the sword are the lies which create black magic. And on the other side of the sword is the truth which has the power to break the spell of black magic. Only the truth will set us free. Is exactly what has to happen. Looking at everyday human interactions, imagine how many times we cast spells on each other with our word. Over time, this interaction has become the worst form of black magic, and we call it gossip. Gossip is black magic at its very worst, and this is Bible stuff. It says don't gossip. Because it is pure poison. We learn how to gossip by agreement. When we were children, we heard the adults around us gossiping all the time, openly give their opinions about other people. Man, aren't we all guilty of that? They even had opinions about people they didn't know. Emotional poison was transferred along with the opinions, and we learned this as a normal way to communicate. And it's funny because you get laughs, and even have a good time with your coworkers. I do, and say something stupid about something, and it's just part of the everyday grind. But man, we could do so much better. I bet. And I've seen other environments where they do actually say nice things to each other, and it's a better environment. Gossiping has become the main form of communication in human society. It has become the way we feel close to each other, because it makes us feel better to see someone else feel as badly as we do. There's an old expression that says, misery likes company, and the people who are suffering in hell don't want to be alone. Fear and suffering are an important part of the dream of the planet, and they are how the dream of the planet keeps us down. Please just help with yourself and your neighbors. It can fix so much stuff, which is this one agreement. Using an analogy of the human mind as a computer, gossip can be compared to a computer virus. A computer virus is a piece of computer language written in the same language all the other codes are written in, but with a harmful intent. This code is inserted into the program of the computer when you least expect it, and most of the time without your awareness. After this code has been introduced, your computer doesn't work quite right, or it doesn't function at all because the codes get so mixed up with so many conflicting messages that it stops producing good results. Human gossip works exactly the same way. For example, you are beginning a new class with a new teacher and you have looked forward to it for a long time. On the first day of class, you run into someone who took the class before you who tells you, oh, that instructor was a pompous jerk. He didn't know what he was talking about. And he was a pervert too, so watch out. Oh man, when I read this one too, I was like, oh my god. Anyways, because I have to, people, man, I've been dealing with but when somebody says, it goes into it, but when someone says something about you, it carries on gossip. People gossip about people. And so yeah, man, the sword, double-edged sword. You are immediately imprinted with the word and the emotional code the person had when saying this. But what you are not aware of is his or her motivation in telling you. This person could be angry for failing the class or simply making an assumption based on fears and prejudices. But because you have learned to ingest information like a child, some part of you believes the gossip and you go to the class. As a teacher speaks, you feel the poison come up inside you and you don't realize you see the teacher through the eyes of the person who gave you that gossip. Then you start talking to other people in the class about this, and they start to see the teacher in the same way, as a jerk and a pervert. You really hate the class, and soon you decide to drop out. You blame the teacher, but it is gossip that is to blame. All of this mess can be caused by one little computer virus. One little piece of information can break down communication between people, causing every person it touches to become infected and contagious to others. Imagine that every single time others gossip to you, they insert a computer virus into your mind, causing you to think a little less clearly every time. Then imagine that in an effort to clean up your own confusion and get some relief from the poison, you gossip and spread these viruses to somebody else. And this is what I say, we're all living life, and you have to deal with being a human being, right? So it's not like you're not going to ever gossip or hear gossip or want to be part of the group. But if you ever question why the world's messed up, you can go back to this and be like, oh, okay, there's a lot of look in your own family, you know what I mean? Why an uncle hates the aunt, and then listen to how they speak about each other or how it carries on. And that is part of the reality of the world. and how things can get better. And I would have to say that sometimes you have to get out of a community to better yourself, because you can't fix everybody. You can't fix everything. Um, but it's best to just fix yourself. That's all you can do, and help other people. Help people that you can help, but drown. Um, don't drown. Don't let other people drown you. Now imagine this pattern going on in a never-ending chain between all the humans on Earth. The result is a world full of humans who can only read information through circuits that are clogged with a poisonous continuous virus. Once again, this poisonous virus is what the Toltecs called the mitote, the chaos of 1,000 different voices all trying to talk at once in the mind. Even worse are the black magicians or computer hackers who can intentionally spread the virus. To think back to a time when you or someone you know was angry with someone else and desired revenge. In order to seek revenge, you said something to or about that person with the intention of spreading poison and making that person feel bad about him or herself. As children, we do this quite thoughtlessly, but as we grow older, we become much more calculated in our efforts to bring other people down. Then we lie to ourselves and say that person received a just punishment for their wrongdoing. When we see the world through a computer virus, it is easy to justify the cruelest behavior. What we don't see is that misuse of the word is putting us deeper into hell. For years we have received the gossip and spells from the word of others, but also from the way we use the word with ourselves. We talk to ourselves constantly, and most of the time we say things like, "Oh, I look fat. I look ugly. I'm getting old. I'm losing my hair. I'm stupid. I never understand anything. I will never be good enough. I'm never going to be perfect." Do you see how we use the word against ourselves? We must begin to understand what the word is and what the word does. If you understand the first agreement, be impeccable with your word, you will begin to see all the changes that can happen in your life. Changes first in the way you deal with yourself and later in the way you deal with other people, especially those you love the most. Consider how many times you gossip about the person you love the most to gain the support of others for your point of view. How many times have you hooked other people's attentions and spread poison about your loved ones in order to make your opinion right? Your opinion is nothing but your point of view. It is not necessarily true. Your opinion comes from your beliefs, your own ego, and your own dream. We create all this poison and spread it to others just so we can feel right about our point of view. If we adopt the first agreement and become impeccable with our word, any emotional poison will eventually be cleaned from our mind and from our communication in our personal relationships, including with your pet, dog, or cat. Impeccability of the word will also give you immunity from anyone putting a negative spell on you. You will receive a negative idea if your mind is fertile ground for that idea. When you become impeccable with your word, your mind is no longer fertile ground for words that come from black magic. Instead, it is fertile for the words that come from love. You can measure impeccability of your word by your level of self-love. How much you love yourself and how you feel about yourself are directly proportionate to the quality and integrity of your word. You are impeccable with your word, you feel good. When you are impeccable with your word, you feel good. You feel happy and at peace. You can transcend the dream of hell just by making an agreement to be impeccable with your word. Right now, I'm planting that seed in your mind. Whether or not the seed grows depends upon how fertile your mind is for the seed of love. It is up to you to make this agreement with yourself. I am impeccable with my word. Nurture this seed, and as it grows in your mind, it will generate more seeds of love to replace the seeds of fear. This first agreement will change the kind of seed your mind is fertile for. Be impeccable with your word. This is the first agreement that you should make if you want to be free, if you want to be happy, if you want to transcend the level of existence that is hell. And this is the thing is, you gotta, when you're transcending sometimes you just got to get out of the group. You got to get out of the environment. Sometimes it's a bad place where you're at, or the people you're around, or whatever, a relationship. And even sometimes to better yourself, you know what I mean? Like, if you don't want to get wet, get out of the water. And you know, sometimes you're in a place that you got to get out of. I mean, you can transcend it within yourself, but everything around you has energy. So, um, and what I've learned is that sometimes relationships, it could be you, but it could be the version of you that people that sometimes somebody will bring out of you. Like for alcoholics, like if you're an alcoholic and you're always around people that are drinking, your old friends or whatever, you might never not be an alcoholic. So you got to get out of it. If you want to better yourself, you got to get out of. You can't hang out with those people anymore. You know, till you find till you're fixed. Same thing with like cussing, or whatever. If you're around everyone that cusses, which is not always a bad thing, but it's uh, it's just bettering yourself. You gotta if you want to work out, go work out. Be around other people that are working out so that you can uh, make alliances with people that are doing what you need to do. It's not that you have to hate everyone that you've ever known or whatever, but it's this human thing. And sometimes you got to break up with that girlfriend or boyfriend that doesn't treat you right, and maybe they might never will, or until maybe you have to learn how to live without them, and then maybe it'll work again after that. Maybe they learn to, but maybe they didn't. Anyway, um, be impeccable with your word. This is the first agreement that you should make if you want to be free, if you want to be happy, if you want to transcend the level of existence that is hell. It is very powerful. Use the word in the correct way. Use the word to share your love. Use white magic beginning with yourself. And again, I think he's using the word magic loosely. I don't think he's talking about who. He's talking about the word, how to use your word in a good way. Tell yourself how wonderful you are, how great you are. Tell yourself how much you love yourself. Use the word to break all those teeny tiny agreements that make you suffer. Dude, this is the only way that you can make it through this life. The only way. You can't, like, if you don't have this in your tool bag, uh, toolbox, you're never gonna be able to fight off um, all the bad things that the world will try to give you. You got to be able help to take care of yourself, emotionally, mentally, um, in your mind. Every day when you go to sleep, you got to know that you can do it, that you have the power to do whatever you need to do in the good sense. Um, it is possible. It is possible because I did it, and I'm no better than you. No, we are exactly the same. We have the same kind of brain, the same kind of bodies. We are humans. If I was able to break those agreements and create new agreements, then you can do the same. If I can be impeccable with my word, why not you? Just with this one agreement can change your whole life. Impeccability of the word can lead you to personal freedom, to huge success and abundance. It can take away all fear and transform it into joy and love. And this is what we're trying to do, right? We're trying to live a life that's fulfilled, has fulfillment in it. You know, even if we have complaints and we are like, oh, why can't get taxed less, or why don't we get more tax, or hey, well, I need a new car, or I need this, I need that. As you grow spiritually and emotionally and in your own family. And you're going to sometimes what you want is going to be your curse, and it's just a long road. It's a long road, but if you strengthen yourself and you try to be impeccable with your word, stuff like this, you're gonna just go the natural. You're not gonna take the job that has more money, but you're unhappy. It doesn't help you in your real life. You're gonna find the right path. You're gonna get led. You're gonna choose the best options when they're there in front of you. You're gonna not break. You're gonna treat your spouse better, and that's gonna make your life better. And then you might get that promotion, or you might get the job that you want, or you might get the car that you guys wanted. Who knows? You might decide to do the hobby that you always were gonna that makes you happy. Okay. Anyway, just imagine what you can create with impeccability of the word. With impeccability of the word, you can transcend the dream of fear and live a different life. You can live in heaven in the middle of thousands of people living in hell because you are immune to that hell. You can attain the kingdom of heaven from this one agreement. Be impeccable with your word. Okay, so that is good for the second chapter. Man, that was good, right? And like I said, the Bible stuff is important. And again, I'm not perfect, man. I'm not trying to be perfect. I read this book already, and I still need to strengthen myself on a lot of these because it's easy to be good. It's easy not to hurt somebody when you don't have the power to. But when you have the power, like when the world's against you, it's easy to be like, yeah, 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 like a good person or whatever. And then when you got everything you ever wanted, or you're getting everything you want, then it's easy to be a jerk and to treat people like shit or garbage or whatever. So um, that's a lesson. Basically, what I just read is a lesson that keeps going. That you have to watch. Be careful how you speak to yourself, and be careful how you speak to others, even when you're on top and when you're on the bottom. Like so, it's tough. This world keeps going and going. So I'm not here to be perfect, but I'm definitely bettering myself every day. So take that one to the bank. And self-hate is not a good thing. And speaking on others negatively really reflects upon yourself. And we live in that world. If you see it, like you said, if you want to live in heaven, other people are living in hell. It's not that we all can't get to the good place, but we're humans. It's gonna be that place. You're gonna have to choose. There's a lot of people in the world, and a lot of things, and environments, and so you gotta make your choice for yourself and people around you. And sometimes you can't save the world. You can't save the whole world. You're not God. So what you can do though is be happier, have a better life for yourself, and not because to take stuff from other people, but to better yourself. And that's what I'm taking from these books and this learning and what I'm trying to do in this life. So it's not perfect, but it's a good one. Keep living a good life. Okay, so that's an hour and 9 minutes. I'm hoping that I might be able to upload this on one video on YouTube. But if not, I guess I'll try to. So peace and love. Until next time I read. There's only a couple more chapters, so later.